Once again, we are covering the SNOT League matches. We're already halfway through the group stage, with some teams gaining a clear advantage, but it's definitely not the end of the competition yet. So, let's move on to summarizing this round filled with very one-sided matches. When you think of Spartans, you envision mighty warriors facing adversity head-on, screaming, "This is Sparta!" before diving into battle. At least that was the plan for the Silesia Gladiators in their match against the Legends of Arizona. Unfortunately, the Amazons said, "Check!" to all that oiled-up muscle-flexing bravado. From the very beginning, it was evident that the Gladiators weren't quite handling the ladies. Maybe charging at women with sharp claws, bare-chested Spartans wasn't the best idea. And as one Spartan after another ended up at the dugout apothecaries, the Amazons scored touchdown after touchdown. The scoreboard stopped at 3-0, with a whopping 5 battered Gladiators. Now, the ladies from Lustria will surely start the debate about the wage gap between women and men again. Here we go again. Let's see how they handle Albion Wanderers in round 5. Then we can talk. Speaking of Albion Wanderers, they played a match with Frankensteins. And, it was brutal. Once again, necromancers couldn't keep up with stitching and resurrecting their fallen players. Maybe they should invest in some kind of sewing machine. The knights had no problems dispatching the zombies and other contraptions, but Charles Kith, the big living hand, was a different story. They just couldn't hit him, while he was just running from them and securing the first touchdown for the flesh golems. Sadly, Frankensteins were unable to secure the draw due to a lack of personnel on the field. They really need to invest in better sutures. The knights utilized their speed, found an empty spot in their opponent's defense, and secured the second touchdown. At the next splendid feast hosted by our favorite halflings, the Ratmen from Clan Mulder decided to pay a visit. However, it seems that the menu our distinguished chefs prepared for this match suited the rats a bit too well. The mighty rat ogres inflicted serious wounds on every chef who fell into their clutches. They were especially brutal if they smelled slightly of cheese. Amidst the chaos, there was plenty of room for their smaller ratkin, who were much more interested in rummaging through the chef's aprons in search of any leftover crumbs than the ball itself. It was, in fact, a total massacre. The few cooks who remained alive scattered in all directions across the field searching for the rescue. Let's add that the gigantic cauldron in which the halflings prepare their dishes, and sometimes use as an additional player, is called the Fondue Catapult. Fondue! And they thought that wouldn't rile up the sensitive noses of the rats? The rats concluded the match with a score of 2-0 and a complete annihilation of the chef's team. Well, it lets those poor, skaven slaves volunteer have chance to eat a hefty meal. With these demons, you never know what to expect. One time they caused the entire stadium to disappear, and this time it seems they completely failed to materialize for the scheduled match. Looks like the Changer of Ways have different plan for them. Unfortunately, this means that the Serpent Folk team receives a victory. And now the Group B, unfortunately, due to further squig plague, the 3 city squiggers were forced to forfeit yet another match. These are tragic news for the goblins, as it deprives them of any chance of advancement. Well, I'm starting to wonder if the Nurgle demons didn't have their nasty fingers, or tentacles, or whatever else they have in this. The Dryads from the Timber team faced off against the Artillery Academy students from Nuln this time. Unfortunately, nothing went according to plan for our little trees. In the very first turn, the referee accused one of their players of fouling a student player and promptly sent him off the field, along with the visibly outraged coach. Without coaching supervision, the tree's tactics completely fell apart. To make matters worse, the students once again deployed a tank onto the field, which wreaked havoc not with its cannon this time, but by utilizing its brutal mechanical strength to uproot the tree folk. But unexpectedly, help came from the referee, who after the first touchdown realized that this mechanical contraption really shouldn't be participating in the match, much like that bomb-throwing student opponent. The students tried to plead with the referee, offering him their savings, but apparently only succeeded in infuriating him even more. Nevertheless, the match was catastrophic for the Dryads, as they once again suffered heavy losses, and they are probably the first team that have no chance of advancing from the group stage. The vampires from the Necrar clan unleashed true horror upon the goblins of the Nightcrawlers during a match played in the courtyard of their own castle. The goblins seemed to flounder in the darkness, unable to even execute simple dodges. Furthermore, they quickly lost players not just due to vampire attacks, but also because the disoriented squigs had trouble distinguishing between foe and friend, resulting in several goblins ending up in their jaws. The vampires set the match score at 2-0 and significantly thinned the goblin ranks. However, the sneaky night goblins wouldn't be themselves if they didn't pull off some trickery. At the very end of the match, they unloaded all their anger and frustration by fouling the captain of the vampire team, sending him on involuntary leave. His absence will surely delight the next rivals of the Necrar clan. This time, the Winterstorm Maidens faced off against the rampaging Realm Riders. The Knights were somewhat depleted in personnel, but thanks to the Equalizing Fund, they acquired the famous star Thorson Soutmet. The Valkyries were initially quite bewildered to see this Viking in the colors of the Realm Riders, especially lugging a massive barrel. Thorson didn't part with it for several minutes until he found his opportunity. With a mighty heave, the barrel soared into the air, crashing down with a thunderous thud onto one of the startled maidens. Moments later, the team captain of the Riders, Lord Bigos, knocked down the troll with a powerful scythe blow. The doctors couldn't quickly patch up this beast and left the wounds to the troll regeneration echoes. But the creature couldn't return to the field. These two incidents completely threw the Valkyries off their game. One by one, they fell to the ground, becoming victims of the peasants' boots. All these brutal fouls, however, escaped the attention of the match referee, Count Abelard Bigos, the similarity in names reportedly coincidental. The knights looked on with disdain at the shameful actions of their servants, but, to quiet their consciences, focused on scoring touchdowns. The result of this match, 2-0 for the Knights, securing their dominance in Group A. Some of the Winterstorm Maidens are still not awake from their coma, healing their wounds at the Not Quite Valhalla Medical Center. And that wraps today's episode. Stay tuned for more episodes. Bye!